So you know what we haven't done in almost 3 years of casting, Zombie Grub?
What's that?
I don't believe we've ever actually promoted our own Twitters during the cast. Usually it's like at the end and there's a bit of like a credits thing.
Yeah.
So for the first time in like 3 years, guys, I just want to give a quick shout out. If you guys are enjoying the casting, if you're enjoying what's going on, and you want to keep up to date with things BaseTradeTV related, the best way to do that is to follow us on Twitter. So of course you can follow my partner in crime here, Zombie Grub, at ZG Gaming. And you can follow me at Riff_Kings with a Z.
I mean, if you want to, I guess.
You backa. Yeah.
Jinx.
Ace Lude in chat. But no, seriously, we never actually take a moment to advertise ourselves. So had someone actually asking about it. There you go. Congratulations. You caused the BaseTradeTV first. But asking about those racks is actually really important. I'll talk about that in a moment. In bottom left side of the map, though, it's Acer's Scarlett.
In the top right, as the Red Terran, he is Kelazhur.
So Kelazhur is putting Raxes in the main, and Scarlett is literally calling him out as bullshit. But what's actually kind of funny is Kelazhur's kind of known to do this, not just on Orbital, but for example, Destiny and Lycan were casting some balanced test map show matches where the idea was you're supposed to test what the new Ravager/tanks are going to look like. Instead, Kelazhur just like 3 Rax Reapers and proxy Rax Reapers and just screwed with no regret, right? So it's just funny that she's calling him out on this because this didn't happen recently. And pretty much every time we see him on this map. I love Kelazhur's shit talking though. 10 points. 10 points to Root Gaming.
So, okay, so what's funny is that Scarlett actually does proxy hatch on this map. So that's a legitimate thing for Kelazhur to have a word about, if he did remember too. And he does know that Scarlett also doesn't like the Reapers on this map, something that they're joking about in the lobby. And just in general, Zergs don't like it. So to actually go full 3 Rax Reaper, legitimately, he wasn't lying to her, is going to be tough for her to defend against.
No shame.
And she is going to go for those roaches, start the defense off.
Well, what I like about Scarlett is she's smart. For her to just call him out on this in the first place is funny, sure, but that's like her actually knowing her opponent and studying up and being intelligent. But at the same time, for every point I give Scarlett for being really smart at the game. Oh,
not that smart. It's 3
Not
Rax.
that smart, apparently. She's also, funny enough, like more recently, very balance whiny.
Yes, yeah. I mean, you say like smart to study her opponent, but I think that like this is like countering yourself. You know, you start screaming about DTs all the time, and
then people are just
someone's
gonna
DT
DTs.
rush you.
Yeah, exactly. Now, roaches are on the way, but the really annoying part of this is roaches are not necessarily the answer. Neither are speedlings. They used to be in the past, but the grenade abilities really changed things up. And 3 Rax Reaper, with this many grenades coming out, keep the roaches from really even connecting to the Reapers a lot of the time. So Scarlett will need to consider possibly making Ravagers early on, which is very expensive to do. But she also goes for a very fast layer.
Yeah, I think she might be going for Nidustorm after this. Because you can't walk across the map with the roaches, and obviously not with the queens too. So
move,
the grenades would just buy too much time and do too much damage, even with a couple of Ravagers. Well, okay, so Kelazhur saw the lair. I kind of wish she would put it in the back, so maybe it would be a little more secret. So I'm surprised that he went for a 3rd CC. This might kill him. Or Reapers might be really good.
I mean, this is kind of cool because if it is a Nidus Worm, I think that's a really smart move. Because it is the slow push of the roaches trudging along the map, and you have like a couple of grenades constantly 1 step forward, 2 steps back type thing. And if it's a Nidus Worm, you don't have to worry about any of that. The funny thing though is there's actually enough units in play that the Nidus Worm might get focused down too. I don't know. It's certainly questionable. But I answered it in chat. I'm going to bring it up here. Someone was asking, what if we don't use Twitter? How can we follow you guys? Well, you can hit the follow button on Twitch, which is always awesome. But use our website. We talked about it earlier. BaseTradeTV does have a full calendar outlining everything we're casting. It doesn't show other events unless we're casting them. And then on top of that, it's got countdown timers as well, so you know, okay, in 11 hours, they're going to be casting the next thing. So if you can't follow us on Twitter, guys, the website's a good way to keep up to date with what's going on, too.
Yeah. So I guess Nidus Worm, both because, you know, you can't walk across, but also because that's, you know, to all in after a frustrating opener seems just kind of like, you know, the vindictive thing to do, right? But to have just the Roach speed on the way also makes sense. You could try and get a third base before getting the lair, but the Reapers would get a couple of cancels just by throwing their grenade down, actually, because there's so many Reapers that taking the slow and steady third base is going to work out well. This does mean that Kelazhur is going to get away with a 3cc, though, and he's going to have a very strong follow to this.
Yeah, if he had to worry about an all-in right now, this would be a very different looking game, but what's kind of funny, I guess, is here we are, 6 minutes. Oh, bank heist! Hang on, bank heist 3 times again. I almost missed it. I've missed like all of them so far this stream. But what's funny about this is he actually has all the Reapers alive still. So let's say he doesn't actually fight Scarlett head on, right? Like he never has these Reapers connect with the Roaches, which he will. But let's say he didn't. If she moves out, he can actually come in from behind, and Reapers are kind of like their own medevac drop.
Yeah. Alright, so despite having 3cc, I guess because of the opener and how much gas he used, he only has 1 Engineering Bay? Yeah, 1 Engineering Bay. So not the one we usually see with 3cc. It's actually a little bit off-centered as he starts the second one right now. Scarlett's going to have 1-1, however, and is going directly up into Infestors because she got that lair so quickly. She already has speed, too. I think it's going to be Infestors, at least. Like, I'd be very surprised if she thought she could get away with going up to Hive already. Because Kelazhur is going to be ready shortly with his push. His stim's done. You're going to wait for combat shields or attack about halfway, so combat shields finishes as you attack.
There's no medevacs, though. So it is going to be Hive, combined with Infestors. Of course, Fungal Growth and Corrosive Biles can do a lot of damage. Yeah, it's going to be difficult for Scarlett, but if Kelazhur decides to play even slightly passiver than he should, like, and I'm talking like 10-second window here, that could actually be the difference of Ultras being out or not. And if she gets the Ultras, she's going to have a grand time against what Kelazhur has.
I think that sums it up pretty perfectly. If he's just a little bit too passive, he misses his build by 1 second, or decides he wants to wait for his +1 armor upgrade, then he will miss a very crucial timing. But he's pushing out now as the medevacs come out. Combat shields is done. Cancel the 4th base.
Yeah, still getting use out of these.
Yep.
This is actually kind of scary, though, because for Kelazhur, he could get caught in the middle of the map right now. Like, he doesn't know that Scarlett doesn't have 40 links behind this. He's only seen the same Roaches and Ravagers. And if you were to assume that she was making nothing else behind this, that would be his bad. Now, because there's so little medevacs, and only 2, the Fungal Growths themselves will actually do damage for once. Normally, they just get healed off, and it's a non-issue. But she doesn't have to land the Corrosive Biles like you normally do with this setup, because Kelazhur's medevacs came out so late, the production starts so slow, and there she is on her way to Ultralisk Cavern.
You better boost those medevacs across the map. Get here, lickety splits. His upgrade's about to finish up too, and that might have been what he was really waiting for to push in. But of course, as he scans the Infestors, he knows that he's never going to be able to push in, like, just stim the win. He'll always have to have some splits. But he does go for the double drop, as opposed to the direct push, which it could do a lot of damage. It could snipe the Ultralisk Cavern, which I think would be the best move. But if the units are already prepared, it feels like a waste of very precious seconds in a main push that could kill the Zerg player a lot of the time. And she is ready with a couple of Lings. Finds a very interesting spot, however. That's going to be a lot of Lings on top of the Marines anyways, though. That almost worked out.
This reveals the Ultralisk Cavern, though, and specifically the timing of which it popped. So he knows now there's a very limited window of opportunity before Chitin Splitting finishes. Because the soonest she could have started it would have been when he saw it complete.
Yeah. Now, he denies the 4th base, and he's getting his own 4th base. So going into a macro game after this is never ideal for a Tandem player to face, Ultras. Never, ever, ever. But you do have better situations than others, and this, I think, is a better situation that he could go into as Ghost or as Liberators.
Takes out those medevacs. Kelazhur, Zombie Grub, I'm not feeling this for him at all. He's coming to the late game with no medevac support, limited tanks, no Liberators, certainly no Ghosts, and Chitinous Plating is almost done at the 10-minute mark in the game. Like, this was, all things considered, a very fast Ultra build out of Scarlett.
Oh yeah, definitely. One of the fastest we've seen recently, even as people are still going for fast ones.
I wonder if this is faster than True on Dusk Towers. Because True for a while was doing like a lot of stupid straight-to-hive tech stuff just like Scarlett did.
Yeah.
I say stupid, I mean silly, but yeah, same difference in this instance. Because Ultralists are stupid. Terran buy his wine.
Kelazhur going for Liberator so quickly because he has to. He's all the, Ultra's gonna be coming down so quickly. Really does hurt his medevac count, and that is super scary. He's not gonna be able to, run his tanks. He just straight up won't be able to stim that often, and he won't be able to drop. This is like his one medevac, and he doesn't have a second starport. It's only just now coming down. His upgrades aren't going to be done, but there's a wall helping him out a little bit here. Liberators too.
Liberator's getting a good couple of shots because nothing else is really in here, but the Infested Terran's coming down as well. Those Ultras...
Concave.
I know, they're gonna die, but it took them so long to die.
It did. It took them a very long time.
If Scarlett didn't actually get stuck in that choke, and didn't have Liberators on top of that choke to boot, she would have dominated that fight. So that goes well for Kelazhur, but that's just one fight for the time being. She's still denying this base. Any time spent in the air is not making it orbital, not making it planetary, so Kelazhur kind of wasting some of this command center's potential, I suppose you could say. But there's still a couple of fungal growths behind this, and the Ultralists, as we saw, jokes aside, they just don't take damage. So anywhere out in the open is going to be Scarlett's fight. Behind walls of SimCity and chokes, okay, maybe it doesn't go so bad for Kelazhur, but that's not a situation he's going to be able to defend this fourth base with.
No. He really should wait.
Get the hell out of Dodge.
And slowly push out, very slowly. Siege up his Liberators and his tanks. And then maybe he'll be able to secure it. Maybe. Of course, also want to wait for his upgrades. They're going to be on even upgrades, the 2-2 finishing. He's going to have the +1 for the tanks as well. She wants the command center with the Ravager shots, but it's a little too close to the tanks now.
I mean, getting it would be nice, but I don't think it's a necessity. It's one of those things where, ooh, shiny.
Kelazhur is preparing to play the long game. He already has a 5th command center on the way. Unfortunately, his drops have not been doing very much, however. There just haven't been very many drops. This is the first one that might get something important done if it snipes the 4th base again.
Oh, nice dodge on the
5th base is like, it's almost done. That would have been nice too. But
so
a free 4th would have been better.
Let me ask you this then. He's clearly going towards Liberators and such right now. How do you feel about composition out of Kelazhur?
I still don't like Liberators. I don't like Liberators when you both are allowed to do whatever you want. Like, Kelazhur's been on the back foot, more defensive, but they still got to, 4 or 5 bases, right? Yeah. Which means that her going up to Aspire was never out of the question. She already has it. So basically, if you can get Corruptors, I don't like Liberators.
Liberators are, without question, the best damage units in the game. With +3 weapon upgrades, they hit for 100 a shot. But they are so vulnerable in so many different ways, so... Yeah, I'm not too much of a fan of this, but it is, I guess, a cheaper / faster option than trying to get ghosts out, which are far more expensive.
Yeah, but I also don't like that it takes away from your medevac count, where we've seen more often mass drops combined with ghosts, because the mass drops lead to the pressure to attack, and then the ghosts do well defensively. Not
to mention he hasn't had a lot of medevacs in general. These two are 2 of 3 medevacs in play right now.
Yeah, I think that's... It's all up to the problem is though is that everyone is trying everything because they're both not quite the perfect answer. So often we see them try and be like, okay, I finally have a maxed out army of ghosts and bio and tanks, and they get fungled or they get surrounded in the big open space, and the ghosts never get any snipes off, and it just feels like a useless, expensive unit.
This is his only medevac.
Yeah, but damn well you repair that. He's getting 3 more. He recognizes the problem too, but there's the Ghost Academy. The problem with getting every single thing for the Terran is, of course, going to be in that control. I'm not going to start any debates about who A moves more, but you have to admit that Ghost, Liberator positioning, tank positioning, as well as picking up the tanks, making sure to stim, pull back, and spread your bio might be a little bit more than maybe 1 or 2 fungals and the Ultras moving in.
Oh, no doubt in my mind. I mean, even with corrosive biles factored in, it's still very much it's a much more complicated situation for Kelazhur. Scarlett is taking the time to pee on the building, caustic spraying the command center down a bit, but takes the opportunity to move forward and take out these Liberators before it gets too crazy. Wall of Infested Terrans coming down, hoping to soak some of these hits from the Liberators. Ultras on the front line just going ham, but without support does get taken care of.
Fungal growth on the left. So bad.
Initially it's not, but the Ultras were behind, right? They're the last thing into the fight. So now that they're getting evolved, we see the bio being dispatched fairly quickly.
Yeah, and everything in the air went down. So if the tanks were being able to maneuver, if the Liberators were still alive, then I actually think he would be able to tear down the rest of the Ultras. But
I know Scarlett will be so mad at me because she does watch VODs, but I'm just gonna say, nice A move, bro. The Ultras, seriously, we're all behind the Ravagers, and she's still winning. It's hard to criticize it, right? But it's just that's how silly it looks. People can talk about balance all day on point of view. And there are a lot of aspects where I would actually argue Terran is better than Zerg. But Terran never looks better than Zerg the same way Ultralists look better than everything else. I think that's one of the key differences.
You know, it was... Kelazhur was not prepared to defend, unfortunately, and the SimCity worked against him for a little bit with the his own units being kind of choked in from the barracks. But I think his sensor tower could have meant he was there just a couple seconds sooner with the tanks already pre-sieged. That might have been the difference of holding or not. And that's just holding. Like, we'd have to go into Broodlords after that, and the fact that Scarlett was expanding everywhere, and there's other problems than just holding.
Yeah. By the way, Nathrus, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that name wrong, did sub for quite some time during that game. Sorry, we got caught up in a lot of that action, so we didn't have time to acknowledge it, but do know that we saw you and we love you, sir. Our current sub count, what are we at here now as we get this next map made up? We are at 111. Oh man, we are at a young sub count right now. 1111. 1,111 people subbed to the channel.
Nice.
So now that we've got our remotes on, I was curious, like, what's the next tier of subscribers? Because everyone knows if you to go from Twitch, it's 500 to 1,000 is that gap, right? The next tier is 1,000 to 2,000. Fuck that. We're never getting more remotes. I'm happy with what we have. Like, it's just too many subscribers to require. But Prion Terrace is on the way. Let's get this map intro loaded, and we'll see you guys here in just a moment with Game 2. Well, we got another case of the Chatty Cathys, just to show you guys what you missed. Scarlett loading into the game and basically saying, no more Reapers, you're killing esports. I won't make Ravagers if you don't. But yo, I think she just lawyered him, because Kelazhur can't make Ravagers in the first place.
Wait, what? I won't make Ravagers
the
if you don't make Ravagers. Oh,
yeah, the implication, Zombie Grub. The implication. Hey,
I know. I really can't respond to them, but I'm just like, you're killing esports with Reapers? Why didn't Kelazhur respond to killing esports with Ultras? It just seems like it was locked and loaded.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, game number 2 here for the TING Open. Spawning in the bottom right side of Prion Terrace it's going to be the blue Terran player, Root Gaming's Kelazhur.
And top left as the pink Zerg, she's Scarlett.
And of course, her team is technically still Acer, but she is on fire. This was a team comprised of her and several other teamless players who wanted to compete in the SC2 Improved Team League, which is cool. I think it's awesome. But yeah, this whole series, it's one game. It's hard to really say Scarlett's better than Kelazhur because of blank, but Kelazhur did open that game with a lot of dedication. It didn't get a lot of damage done. And again, I kind of touched on the last game. Not everyone's going to agree with me. Like, you can complain all you want about balance because, again, there's so many ways every race is better versus every other race right now. Like, there are just a lot of shitty builds that are just too good to deal with no matter how good you are of a player, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the audience, and especially our Nerf jar having Zerg be so far ahead of all the other races, it's pretty safe to say Zerg looks a lot stronger. Even if it isn't actually, it looks a lot stronger.
That was, I think, a lot of people's problem with Protoss, too, in the past 2 expansions.
Yeah, like you would win a nice macro game with Protoss. You'd be like a respectable player like Huck who's gone Blink Stalkers and had a grand time. But because every Protoss win looked like a snowball and was a snowball effect, it just looked ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. But now Protoss is a lot better. They don't have those easy like 2 base wins. They're just like, well, what was I supposed to do, and all of that. So they're finally getting some credit that they
finally had
somewhat
to learn
deserve.
to play.
The Terran virus is real.
We have got like the worst combination of like sarcastic laughter ever. It just sounds like we're choking on hairballs, and people know we're cat people.
We have so many different laughs, man. It's important to have an arsenal of laughs to fit the situation.
We need to get like a really like creepy, cheeky like.
Like, dude, that's what Fear Dragon has, and it creeps me the hell out.
Right? Okay, good. I thought that was just me being racist.
What? Okay, well now a little bit.
No, I love Fear Dragon, guys. But anyways, Kelazhur are taking a very safe approach to this game. I like the bunker at the front. If it is going to be Ravagers, this will hold. If it's Roaches or Lings, it will buy time.
Yeah. So Kelazhur went for a lot of flippin' barracks without any add-ons. So I feel like he's really taken the no Reaper thing to heart and is just doing something else that's kind of silly. Because this, like, backing up 1 racks within 3 racks and then 5 racks with usually a command center in between those latter ones is fine, right? Like, you see that's a build, and you hold off on the tech. I think that's a build. But to hold off on stim and combat shields and reactors, that's where things are a little silly for Kelazhur. But he will have a lot of marines.
I mean, it's a stupid, because you've got the gold base economy. You've just got more minerals than you know what to deal with. So she's going to waste 6 banelings, and Kelazhur, I don't think, is even sweating it. He's just going to be like, surprise, Scarlett, focus fire down the banelings. He doesn't even have to split well. He doesn't even have to split well. He's just got so many marines. So like, thank you for wasting...
I don't know... Okay, yes, like, thank you for wasting banelings and doing this, like, ling all-in is not gonna work, but is his own attack going to work?
So one of the things about this, right, is Scarlett did take a gold and a third. So while in any other situation this baneling, zergling bust all-in is costly, it's not here.
I just, you know, she gets us around once with the lings and the banelings.
Oh, that's a lot of banelings. He's not gonna be able to split like this outside of his base.
Focus fire, focus fire, focus fire is real!
Oh, his focus fire is good, but he still gets surrounded. However, with all the banelings going down, he doesn't have to worry about the wall breaking, so he's still okay for a little bit longer.
There's no follow-up to this. It's 5 barracks on 2 command center, which is a lot of marine production, but there's no stim, there's no engineering base.
Yeah, he's finally taking a gas, but he's looking to hold on to this a lot longer, and I don't like this, because while you do have the more money to work with, you're going to mine out faster. So as in a position like this on another map, you might hold this spot for 10 minutes. You're not going to have that opportunity. These mineral patches are already disappearing very quickly.
Yeah. Now, I can see how this build would be so gloriously cheesy and stupid versus a greedy Zerg player, or even one that's going roaches, actually. Like, the high DPS burst of just plain old Marines can sometimes be overwhelming compared to, you know, the usually more expensive roaches, especially with that gas. But oddly enough, it's like when we saw Lily Canine go up against Snoot's Baneling bust, right? Like, it feels like kind of a, you know, not a hard counter, as Kelazhur still fine as economy, but kind of a counter. Like, she's doing so well and doesn't have to worry about drops anytime soon.
That's true. This is like I feel this is almost mono battles. Like, we're kind of breaching on that territory. But it is finally advancing forward. Factory's on the way, which means starports will be out sooner than later. He scans the third and probably be a little disheartened to see that that's the case. No, never before has been a better opportunity to combine the vampire scaring Ravi in chat with those emotes and making him cry. This is my favorite emoticon combination now. I hate the vampire emote, but we made it for you guys. However, I have finally found a use in which I love it. That's terrorizing poor Ravi into crying. And then you're on the side just eating a hamburger. No, wait, here it gets better. While this is going on, Olivia's totally getting off to this.
Ooh,
I'm scaring Ravi.
Vampires. She loves Twilight.
Yeah, and you're just like, this hamburger's delicious. I wish I had kimchi,
There's a very
though.
dramatic story going off to the right, and I'm just like, man, food is so good.
Our emoticons are the greatest. I love these new emotes, guys, so much. Okay, Scarlett made a ton of overlords, by the way, so if you can't get through the wall, why not go past the wall? And Kelazhur has no defense in the main. There is no bunkers set up. There's a little bit of SimCity, but all the Marines are up front as he tries to leapfrog. He's leapfrog. This is silly, but it's actually a great move. He's leapfrogging bunkers to try and obtain the third base. I laugh, but that's actually a really smart move. However, that's not where Scarlett's attacking.
Oh my god, she could have done so many things, but attacking is one of the ones that might throw the game. Now that's a lot of banelings, and I think the attack's gonna work. But you know, she also could have just teched behind this. Knowing that they have no stim and no medevacs for so long.
But then it wouldn't be as funny.
That's true.
The actual baneling count reminds me a lot of Hyun back in the day, right? Like, he would just go planet cracker amount of banelings, but Scarlett gets us around in the bunker. She doesn't have to use the banelings here. They're going to waddle forward. Kelazhur is just going to be awkwardly dealing with all these lings in the main. And that's a considerable amount of lings that came to the main. But this leaves everything wide open for the banelings. Oh god! Oh, I didn't realize how many SCVs were here! Oh no! Oh Jesus! 47 SCVs go! What the fuck just happened? Someone call 911. I'd like to report a crime, please.
Oh my dear god.
Okay, what is the third map, Zombigo? What craziness do we have up next?
It's a good question. Detox.
I wish I had like an arcade sound going off so we could talk about like the high score Scarlett just set with that drop. Holy shit. Or not drop, sorry, bailing attack. Excuse me. Okay, Detox, though, is a cool map, unique to our tournaments, pretty much. I know a couple other people have been starting to use it since we did. And it's good to see more and more people using community maps. This is a custom map, though, that has replaced Central Protocol. Now, initially, we replaced Central Protocol because it was a garbage man map. No one should ever play on it, and it was terrible. But they fixed it, and it's actually looking a little bit better, and we might bring it back for the sake of standard play later on. But I don't think we would ever really get rid of Detox, because I do love this map quite a bit. But just waiting for Kelazhur to ready up as we're in the lobby. Oh, the stream delay means we're going to have that emotion, the emotional emoticon story get told all over again.
Oh, hello, Fear Dragon.
Why is Fear Dragon in here? Please kick him.
You can come back later.
This story of people spamming the emotes in chat now. Oh, I love it. You guys could write, like just write short stories based off of emoticons only. Like, Zombie Grub, here we go, right? Poor Ravi was a bank teller when Zombie Grub, while casually eating lunch, decided to rob the bank. Looking for them partoos, holds his gun at gunpoint. Now crying, doesn't know what to do. Oh, why are we such bullies? He's such a nice guy. I don't know why. I've actually had these breakdown moments with Zombie Grub where it's like, I don't know why I'm so mean to Fear Dragon. Like, he's the nicest fucking guy, and you should there's no reason to be mean to him, but you just can't help it. Oh, chat exploding at the end of that game. There's that stream delay we were waiting on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the TING Open game number 3 here in the winners match. Possibly gonna lock it down here. I don't know, but if she does, she'll get out of the group safe and sound. In the top right, it's Acer's Scarlett.
Oh, there you go. In the bottom left, as the Red Terran, he's Roots Kelazhur.
All right, so I guess neither of them really have a lot of experience with this map. This has been a big part of a lot of our tournaments. So some players who have been playing in the Corsair Cup and the Gnome John tournaments and all these other things, they've played this map enough that this isn't news. But I guess for both of them, it might be their first time seeing it? Question mark. So I guess with them, yeah, to explain some of the merits of this map that makes it very interesting and different. First off, you actually don't have defender's advantage. There's a lot of situations in your first 3 bases where advantage goes to the attacker. This is unheard of because every map in StarCraft 2 has defender's advantage kind of built in innately. So that's what I think is really cool. So right here from the main, you'll have low ground disadvantage. Natural base, very wide, natural, I guess it's not very wide, but like it's a long ramp and it's kind of wide. It's not easy to hold off. And then your third has 2 entrances. So again, this is a map that does not cater to someone who wants to play a more turtly defensive style. And in fact, it was games with Mana against Hydra going Tempest and pushing, and Hydra trying to get aggressive with like his own Hydras. These were some of the best games we've seen on this map so far, and we still haven't really seen a terrible one. I will say though, I think my favorite is the failed base trade Penguin tried to initiate on this map versus Naniwa. That almost worked.
Very close. Yeah, Naniwa was pretty clutch in that space trade.
Yes,
kind of forgot that he won, to be honest.
I was very impressed with Naniwa in that game too, because that was still one of the first times we cast him. We were like, "Oh, is he still good? We don't know." Just one, we promise. You know what's so kind of silly? This is like a terrible image to have in my mind, but I imagine these two sitting next to each other playing at like a LAN or something, right? And just holding hands. While playing, like, you know, it's like you're the best of friends skipping through the meadow but playing StarCraft.
That's impossible. StarCraft needs both hands, unlike some casual games.
Okay, so they take a fake arm, sew it to their sleeve.
That's weird. Why don't they just like play footsie under the table?
Oh no, you know what you can do? You can get really close, interlock each other's elbows, so you can still use your hands on the mouse and the keyboard.
Oh my god, when they move their mouse one way, you're like, your mouse is gonna get like jerked across though.
Actually, yo, that would be a hilarious thing to set up for a real life like show match or something. Because yeah, you could literally, like, if you tied it together like a 3-legged race, a 3-armed Archon. You could have like an Archon mode match, but like you make it so there's only enough.
Oh my god.
Only one person can have both hands on the keyboard at the same time. The other one can only have like hand or keyboard because you'd have to tug and pull each direction to lean. Oh my god.
Aside. Actually, this is amazing. I shouldn't even say it's stupid. That's a really fun idea. But this aside, even though Scarlett has not played on this map before, she did recognize what has been very powerful in the past on this map, which is Overload Drop. So she doesn't have the one off to the left set up, which is a little odd, but going for this in general would be good.
Nurchio is actually someone who's been using it, abusing it more than most when it comes to this game. I mean, of course, versus Protoss most of the time. But this is Dead Space, and Kelazhur, I'm going to break the graphs to show you guys. There's no idea this is coming until just now. So Hellions coming back home. Bit of a surprise. Of course, the wall's in the non-issue if she can just elevate everything over it. But picks up one of the Reapers, tries to catch more of these Hellions. Not really devastating Kelazhur with this attack. And the Hellions are holding pretty nicely.
Yeah, and she's got to deal with the Hellbat counter. What did she think that was?
What did she took it herself.
Yeah, you took the same natural.
She's like, oh, I didn't realize this was a mirror matchup or a mirror map. I thought it was a. I don't know what she was thinking. Oh yeah, space battle in the background too is always kind of cool to glance over and watch. But you're also like, battlecruiser, come help me! What the fuck?
She's so gonna die to this Hellbat attack. Now, I guess there's kind of a conundrum for Kelazhur, who can't really do the attack yet, as long as he has Lings to clean up with his Hellions. But it's going to be Hellbat Banshee. That's going to be a lot of firepower there.
So I think Scarlett used up all of her worker killing power at the end of that last game. Through multiple attempts at this, only kills, what, 6 SCVs. Front wall's definitely not going to break.
Yep. Well, that one supply depot almost went down. She's hitting a Baneling Nest, which is going to help against the Hellbats on the ground, but there's going to be so many of them. He's not stopped making Hellions because he knew he was going to need them against the Lynx. So that's going to be 13 Hellbats.
One of the few times, by the way, Hellions are looking pretty nice. Most of the time, these are shut down so easily by Roaches, which is every Zerg player's go-to. But Scarlett choosing Banelings, Zerglings, and what's likely Mutalisks might not have such a good time here. You can see it fine. But Banelings can deal with the Hellbats for certain.
Right. So this hatchery is dead and gone. Mm-hmm. She just doesn't want to try and save it. He doesn't have any Banelings. Bye-bye, hatchery.
Rip. I actually like that she didn't dedicate too much to stopping that. Now, she's going to, unfortunately, bleed some Lings out if she goes in now, but just kind of resolving to lose it and minimize losses behind it.
So, this is looking like Kelazhur's game, but you could always just chalk it up to not knowing the map. I didn't even know the map anyways, alright? Gosh, I didn't count.
Babaka.
Yeah. And that counts. That's totally fine way to, get off of this game. But she's gonna try and play it through, actually, despite losing the third base. I guess she didn't take any more economic damage, so maybe thinking...
Kelazhur doesn't have a third of his own, so it's not so bad for her. I mean, it's not good, but it's not so bad. But okay, Banshee gets here towards the main base, and a couple of kills from sitting outside the Spore Crawler range. A little unfortunate for Scarlett, because she did invest in an extra Spore Crawler to make sure this wouldn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
People asking about the raffle. We're going to draw the winner at the end of this series, guys, or if it goes really late, we'll draw it a little bit earlier, but ideally we just do raffle draws at the end of the series. So I think it's currently a copy of Witcher 2 from Crusher of Cities, being handled by Mr. Boris Makarov.
So the Spire could be the ideal comeback unit, as always. Mutas can be very good, and they can clean up these Banshees as well, but it's going to be a lot of work for them. She gave up Baneling speed for this, although she does have 1-1. Kelazhur's one actually started quite late because of everything that happened. I mean, his own build was disturbed by the Ling drops. Still doesn't really make the Ling drops necessarily worth it, but did mess him up a little bit. His third CC finishes up just now. She had Burrow. This might be a little bit more annoying to continue denying this. But Kelazhur, he has Stim. He doesn't quite have combat chills that starts right now. Only one more medevacs on the way out. But he could start his push. Or try to.
Where's your third go?
No, I feel like it's pretty obvious.
I think she's asking more like, where's his third? Because he should have one by now.
No, that'd be where'd your third go?
Maybe. It's poorly written either way. Because she obviously knows where the third base goes. She took it.
Well, she obviously knew where the natural was, and she still asked.
I think Scarlett's a bit of a troll. It's not very good if I had to guess.
No. Really? Never.
See, I told you she thought he was doing something weird because he didn't have a third timing. But now she sees the giant push. She says, "Never mind." Gonna try and collect herself. She needs banelings. She needs a lot of banelings to deal with this. Like a significant amount of banelings to deal with this.
Or burrowed banelings, which he is finally getting, but a little too late. Detox does have a couple of ramps that you could have tried to surprise him with, but now that he's on creep, he's going to be scanning anyways. So chance of this working is not so hot.
Well, no, I mean yeah, actually, that's gonna be painful.
Mutas can take care of the Hellbat right here. But of course she's panicking a little and has to make as many banelings as possible.
Yeah. Spread out of Kelazhur as well. I mean, the Hellbats are designed here just to soak the hits anyways. Doesn't really... They can snowball, but they are mostly here to keep the Marines alive. Not a lot of medevac support for that. Focus fire on the banelings isn't too bad. She's got a couple more to bowl where that came from, but... get a little bit scary. Starts getting driven back. Not too bad.
Oh, that would have helped her so much. But there is the reinforcement line of units here in Scarlett. Well, she's banking a lot. She doesn't have it ready to go.
Did not realize that she's got a pretty nice upgrade lead for what it is. But
yeah,
give away some mutas. He's pretty bad.
I think she's going to have to give up this fourth base. Now, like I said, she's banking a lot of minerals and gas, which obviously would be nicer to have right here, right now in units, and this wouldn't be a problem. But it means that she could expand after this and be okay-ish. Not great. Still has some creep over here, too, so that's helping out a little bit. The reinforcement line actually going to be drawn back here by a very, very small counter of Lings. So to pay attention to it. So small it won't even matter. Oh!
So, it's a tough situation for both players to not be comfortable with this map. You don't know the secret spots, you don't know where to wiggle in and maybe catch your opponent off guard. But with the amount of high ground there is, the longer this goes, I'm feeling a little bit better for Kelazhur. But at the same time, it is entirely important that Kelazhur wins this game, or he does fall to fight against Pulse. And having won against Pulse earlier, obviously with the bracket curse being such a very real statistic and scientific thing, he would probably lose.
Okay, statistically it is a real thing.
Actually,
if you were to look at all of our groups.
Yeah, so we don't really have great empirical evidence is the thing. Ooh, bro, some banelings, but I don't believe he saw this, so...
Boy. Oh, yeah. And she only used 2 of them. I like that a lot.
Oh yeah, he might not think there'd be more where that was. That's actually kind of clever. Drop of the natural base is going to be a little bit of a problem, but she's got Lings and banelings coming back for this now. 3 Widow Mines, though. Oh, boy.
Oh,
well, they actually help kill the medevac, so maybe never mind, oh boy.
Betrayal.
Betrayal, it's like zombie up drinking bank ice.
Ah, hey.
Hey, that's not cool, Rifkin, but I mean, it's true, but also not cool.
Kill anyone for all these Partoofs. These banelings could try and pop you up.
She just unburrows them, actually. That's cool, I like that. What am I going to take care of them, though? Not too much of a problem. Scarlett holds her bases. She holds her spot. And normally, this is where we see a Terran player start really getting ahead in supply. You're like, okay, great. Scarlett held it off, but it ends up with 20 supply versus 14. Or 40. But in this situation, it's not the case. 40 versus 52, not too bad. Mutila's not super effective in this situation, but the banelings will be. And she is moving on to Hive Tech. Infestation Pit on the way. Well, finishing up soon.
The mere fact that she also has 2 more bases, oh my god. That she's in this game is quite impressive after the failure that was those Ling drops, and then losing the 3rd so easily to those Hellbats. Like, this has been a very impressive game, but so was the last time we got to cast her. She had a serious comeback in Noble Shipyard.
So we did a little bit of a tour of the map earlier, but I guess we didn't cover everything. And just a kind of cool aspect of this, it's a bit scary for Kelazhur, good for Scarlett, is there's an opening behind your mineral lines on both your 4th and 5th bases. So Scarlett, well, she's using mutas right now, could actually just kind of run around, be annoying. Gonna try and deny this base a little bit. That was cute on the burrowed laying over there. Very nicely done. But still, not an overwhelming amount of banelings to be roaming around the map. And if she is thinking about Hive Tech, she can't keep investing in banelings. So losing any out in the open could be dangerous.
Yeah. It's super dangerous to be the one pushing out here, and I don't think she should go. Why is she still going up it? Okay,
I don't know. This is like it's off creep. It's a terrible spot. There's a lot of areas Kelazhur can take advantage of. I don't know why she'd fight here.
He definitely has to scan at every single ramp, though.
Oh,
Probably she didn't burrow somewhere there.
Yeah, I would have actually liked to see her knock down the cooling tower. That would have bought her quite a bit of time.
Well, probably doesn't even notice it. Yeah, of course, scanning that ramp.
I mean, it took people 7 months to figure out Terraform had knocked downable towers, but...
Oh, wait! How did we not see that?
I guess she snuck a couple in. Takes a great fight because of it, and Scarlett, I mean, she's been known for this for a long time. Her skills are unmatched, man. That was fantastic. I didn't even see him burrowed either.
Yeah, wow, well, that's impressive. So, still gonna lose the gold base, but she has the other base. I mean, she's still down in army, so, I mean, the game might be lost here and now. There's no more burrowed banelings that I see. But, maybe she can pull another miracle here.
It's going to be tough. Losing these bases, losing that mining. You know, she got that infestation pit, but never got towards Hive. Still just on layer through all of this. Upgrades bridged a long time ago. In fact, Kelazhur's got an upgrade lead at this point. Still, Scarlett, she takes these great-looking fights, but it's the constant rally from Kelazhur. Units constantly reinforcing the front line. She doesn't have that same consistency.
Yeah, and she lost both bases. Almost was able to save that one with the regular minerals. She has a bit of bank, and she's actually going to choose to use it first and foremost for the Hive, which is a very bold decision, and does try and take the gold base back. I think if you're going to go for the Hive, you got to try and get the gold base.
What is this Fear Dragon tweet? The only person hurt is you? About what?
When I kicked him out of the lobby.
Aw. Poor Robbie.
There's a whole discussion. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay, well... Whether Kelazhur wins or Scarlett wins, we're going to break after, so I guess I'll get caught up there. But Hive Tech is coming out for Scarlett. Now, this is really late, and she doesn't have a lot of money to work with. And having lost both these bases, really unfortunate. She might not actually be able to afford Ultralisk to the capacity which she wants.
Yeah. These mutants have never really gotten a chance to go on the other side of the map. If they ever found a chance, maybe they could really start pulling Kelazhur back, but they've constantly just been limited in number. She gets like 15 and start feeling good about it, and then they get used in a main engagement.
All these worker ants long distance mining. Just want to be sure these bases complete. Fly, my pretties! Meanwhile, to the south, again, problem being there's no wall behind this. There's nothing to stop them from sieging up your mineral line, so... Unfortunately, she will have to give up this base. Trying to take the gold does finish, maybe get some mining going on, but this is still a pretty rough spot. Ultralisk Cavern's only on the way. And this ends up being that pretty sweet timing in a normal game for a normal push of this size. It just comes much later because of how scrappy this game's been up to this point.
Oh gosh,
those she doesn't
4 banelings, 0 banelings, never mind. Yeah, that would have been...
That's going to be game. GG.
That's it. GG.
Kelazhur is going to put a point on the board and stand firm, not dying 3-0 here in the winners match.
Yep.
But this does mean we're going to a commercial break, guys, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back as quick as possible to get game number 4 going. We'll see you soon. All right, folks, welcome back to the TING Open. We got a small roster change as we are grabbing another caster here to join us on the stream. It is, of course, none other than Fear Dragon himself. How's it going, Ravi?
It's going fine. It's going dandy, Rick, and thank you for asking.
It's weird. You were typing a lot of vowels during the map intro. I don't understand what that was about, but hopefully you're well collected and well rested for some good games. As we got this series and, of course, the grand finals of the group to still play out. So the loser of this will fall to fight against Pult, and the winner will advance straight up out of the group. But he's on his last life. You just joined us on the cast, man. Why don't you do us the honor of introducing the first player?
All right, up here in the top right-hand corner of the map, one of my favorite players, representing Team Root for Root. Give it up for the Red Terran, Kelazhur.
And his opponent, a dangerous lady. It's Acer Scarlett, currently leading 2-1 here for the TING Open. Now, for those who don't know, quick thing with Fear Dragon, he did recently join us on the channel. This month has been his first month going full-time with BaseTradeTV. And I say full-time in terms of being with BaseTradeTV. He is still not full-time esports yet, as he's got a real job. Womp womp. Which is why he was a bit late to the cast, but he's very excited to come join us for the end of the group, and I'm glad to have him. Quick announcement, I guess, just on the side of things while we have this series start off, since there's no cheese and especially no 3 racks coming down. He's going to be spearheading some North American stuff for BaseTradeTV. Specifically, a couple of tournaments coming up in the next couple of weeks. You're going to see Fear Dragon here on the evening cast, providing you guys with some more awesome StarCraft 2 content.
Yay!
Hooray! yeah, looking forward to those. The first one's in 2 days, isn't it?
I believe
First
so.
one is on Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific for anyone that is interested. And even though it is a North American event, you can feel free, if you're European and you have really, really weird hours, or Korean or whatever other region, feel free to participate.
Yeah, you're reaching out to all those Koreans right now with that English shout out. Nicely done.
Yeah.
Well played.
Hey, look, a lot of English, or Koreans have a lot of really good English speakers.
Did you learn any Korean when you were in Korea?
감사합니다.
Good enough.
Nasam and City Steve Bus.
City bus.
Okay, so this has been a little bit back and forth. Have you been watching, or did you just hop on
I have
recently?
been watching as much as I could. I've been catching some of the games and just some of the shenanigans from both these guys.
This has actually been a pretty great series. Like, I'm loving it. Unfortunately, minus the fact that Scarlett did not understand or perhaps comprehend the map we just played, she has had a lot of control over the 2 wins she got prior to that. So getting back on a more normal map, air quotes here, like Dusk Towers, I'm definitely sitting in the Scarlett camp for this one.
She's getting quick Overlord speed yet again. On Detox, it's a good idea, but she only had 1 Overlord going in for the Overlord drop, which I think drastically reduced the chance of it doing damage. And it was also against someone who was actually committing a lot to Hellions in the first place, which I think also does help against the Ling drop. But this might not be for Ling drops. We've been seeing a couple of people actually just go for the Overlord speed just in general. Gets good scouting. Maybe later on use it as Overlord drops.
Actually, it's funny you bring that up because it's, of course, been Scarlett who's so heavily advocated Overlord speed, even making fun of the Europeans who don't go for it on the games we cast that she's chilling in the stream for.
Yeah. And she's not getting Evolution Chamber, so it is just going to be for that scouting. Very easy scouting.
Well, she's going to have some Hellions on the front door soon. There's nothing obviously here to pick off just yet, and she can wall off with 2 queens, so not an issue at the time being. Did kind of force out a Viking. Not that Vikings are dead in this matchup, we just don't see them that often as Liberators being the go-to, but want to make sure there's no Overlord drops and no opportunity for them. Quickly dispatches it. Now, Queen's off that ramp. He could have just gone up the ramp if he wanted to, but interesting choice to back away from this entirely.
I wonder if he thought that was a bait.
Well, even a couple of Lings that were facing on the ramp would have stalled him out long enough.
That's true.
I don't know.
And of course, he can use the medevac to elevator them up now if he'd like. So that may have been a bigger, I guess, desire. I'd say drop the Marine, take a 3rd Hellion. Yeah.
Well, Baneley Nest is finally going to be finishing up for Scarlett, as well as those evolution chambers, so she can start getting started with those upgrades. But I feel like in the past couple of weeks, I've been able to cast Scarlett a decent amount here and there, and I feel like every single time I see her in a ZBT, it's always a little bit. She does something to an extreme. She either goes for like these crazy Baneling busts, or she goes for like the quickest ultra rush ever, like 10-minute ultras. Which I think you guys actually saw earlier today. So
Yeah.
I'm really interested in. I don't know if you guys have seen a whole lot of like normal games out of Scarlett today in this TvZ.
First TvZ, and only one was kind of a normal game, which was the last one actually.
Yeah. What is this copy pasta, by the way? I just saw you do it, so I decided to copy it, but I didn't actually read it. It's like a story. It's like a story of like I saw a zombie girl and I gave her a hamburger. And I said, I love cats. Would you marry me? She said,
How many partoofs do you make? I said, I'm broke. And she got out a pitchfork, so I ran. Cry face.
So is the story about Ravi, though? Because it's like his face at the end of the story.
What?
No, just that's the emotion is Fear Dragon crying.
It's just like, I'm broke. I'll never find love.
It's just a state of mind.
Yeah, I forgot my lair. Yeah!
Oh, it's not that late.
Yeah, I guess, well...
I like how she does it, though, as a reaction, like after scouting it. She's like, yeah, so what? Don't judge me. Don't look at me.
I imagine she wanted to go for Spire a lot faster. I wasn't too... I didn't actually see the time at which she threw down the 2 evolution chambers. She's only using 1, too, so...
Well, she's not even mining out of 2 of them out of her 3rd, so, like, I don't think that she was gonna make use of them anyways yet.
Well, the push out of Kelazhur is going to be cleaning up a lot of creep. This actually looks eerily similar to this same game at a Polt earlier today.
Yeah, a lot less Banelings and Roaches, though. Scarlett is making 12, but they're not going to have speed. They're just...
That's the advantage of hatching right in the front lines.
Yeah. They get there real quick, like...
Problem is, though, they don't deal with enough. Ling's going to come out next, but that +1 weapons on these Marines going to make sure they tear through everything. And Kelazhur may have started this series really rough, but it looks like he's coming back strong.
Oh my
GG.
God. That happens when you forget your lair and don't do your build.
Now he's being
awkward.
critical.
I think this is criticalness that's well deserved.
Okay, I need to actually move stuff because cameras are blocking the sponsor of the tournament, and that's not okay. So,
You can make me tiny. I give you permission.
well, we've got our sponsors displayed. I'll make you over there, and Zamrio, obviously being the pretty one of the three of us, can be slightly bigger. There we go.
Ah.
All I'm getting out of
Everything's
this
right.
is Zamrio is a mini pants, a mini poo-poo head.
The tweet is just, it's so much better because I don't see my own Skype icon, you know? So I don't see that paired up with my remarks.
You have such a, and I'm sorry, I don't have a better phrase for this, but like a really judgy, bitchy profile picture. Like, I look at that and I'm just like, I feel like she's just...
Of course it's a judgmental picture. That's the point.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting into game number 5. It's the ace match, so BaseTradeTV. I want to see some ace matches in chat if you got them. It's Rifkin, Zombie and Fear Dragon coming at you here with the TriCast to finish off tonight. Spawning in the bottom right side of Lirlac Crest, however, we have the pink Zerg player. She's on fire. It's Scarlett.
In the top right, as the red Terran, he is Roots Kelazhur.
All right, so Fear Dragon. I know you're rooting for Kelazhur on this one, but I know you're also a fan of Scarlett. We're in the ace match.
mean-
Call it. Who takes this series?
Oh, okay. A little bit biased here now because I already can see a little bit what Scarlett's doing. She is going for that early aggression. But the thing is, I know that she's also probably going to end up scouting Kelazhur really, really late. So I kind of want to just hand it to Kelazhur. Like, I feel like he's going to have the potential for this, especially if he gets out that Reaper, because his Reaper control is actually pretty good.
What?
I'm going to give it to Kelazhur.
I feel like Scarlett is it's not that late for East Coast, but she just started a Queen and then canceled it, as well as Overlord Speed and then canceled it.
That's
And was
what I
like,
was wondering.
You know
oh right,
what?
I'm supposed to get metabolic boost.
You know what? All those points
What?
are fine. But maybe, and this is where we're going to put like the Rifkin and tinfoil hat on for a moment. Maybe Scarlett, who is obviously proven to be good friends with Kelazhur, is such a nice person and says, you know what? I know I can whoop Pult's ass. But Kelazhur is going to have the bracket curse, because she knows about BaseTradeTV. She watches it enough, so she knows about the curse. And she's trying to save Kelazhur by perhaps going down in a blaze of glory in order to defeat Pult so that they can both get out of the group.
Ah.
That is the nicest and most legit way you could make match fixing sound.
That, and I'm trying to like give a good reason for messing up that build at the start there. Well, boost timing really off for this. Now you're right, she does scout late, but she gets here in time to possibly delay this command center by a significant amount of time.
You want to kill the SCV and then follow up with speedlings so that you actually cancel a command center. Like, that is the ideal of an early pool like this. But unfortunately, even just the 2 seconds she accidentally got the Overlord speed, the fact that she scouted late, means the command center is going to finish. The most she's going to hope for is a lift off,
wow.
which isn't bad.
How did that die
That
midair? Zergling claws, please.
The Reaper is still technically on the ground until it touches the surface of the top.
That's bullshit. All right. Well,
Well,
as far as this goes, the command center, it's going to be really low. In
Kelazhur,
fact, he's going to lift it. I was going to say, if he left it down there, it would be dangerous and risky. The shots fired. So for those
This
who
is
don't
what
know,
I mean, though. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to quickly fill that in. For those who don't know the gap here, No Regret does really all in cheesy bullshit all the time. So yeah, he's not happy with that.
But I mean, this is what I was saying. Scarlett, whenever I see her, has been going for these very extreme builds. She likes going for like this extreme level of greed with her tech, or she loves going for like this kind of extreme level of aggression with her like openings. That seems to just be a tendency I've been seeing out of her lately.
Well, we got a donation from Mr. Boris Makarov. $5 comes in, and he says, obviously, Rifkin is being the mean one, and Zombie Grub is right. Mr.
Well-
Boris, I thought we were good, man.
You know what?
I thought we were
In most
good.
situations, I would agree with that.
What?
But today, Zombie Garment's been the mean one.
That is true.
So I disagree. Like, you and I have, well, we'll talk about this later. Not important. There's a Hellion attack coming. This might actually get in. The Banshee follow up this as well. Something Scarlett may not expect.
Oh.
So if she chooses to engage this with the Queens, they're going to be low, and the Banshees will pick them off.
He's pulling up the Banshees too.
Oh, is he? Oh, wow. Yeah, he's rallied them at home. Okay, so
This is cool. I like this.
yeah, this is actually going to be a very powerful attack if that's going to be the case. But it does rely on Scarlett, like, droning, as weird as it is to say. I mean, she sees a small amount of Hellions, pushes it back, but saw more than 6. So she's going to be on a little bit of an alert, right? Like, but if she does go purely drones behind this, that's where this is going to work out really well. Because there's not more Queens coming. There's not going to be more Lings on the ground. The Hellions will fight what's here, sure, but the Banshees should be what kills everything. There's only just barely a Spore Crawler coming down now.
Yes.
close.
Kelazhur has halted SCV production for quite a bit of time as well. So, I mean, assuming that Scarlett's going to drone isn't
Oh, you
necessarily
know what?
the worst
Oh,
assumption.
she stacks up all the drones over here. Hellions! Hellions! Oh, they're not going.
Yeah, a little too scared of the Lings even still, but the Spore Crawler's not being done. The Banshees could have targeted down the Spore Crawler in the natural, but the drone pool was good
Oh,
enough
she doesn't
here.
cancel.
And that looks really stupid, and this looks really scary, but she could have taken a lot more damage.
That's one well-protected natural base from specifically Banshees.
She's gonna line them up as a mini wall on the map for drops later.
She does kind of have to spread them out, though. I mean, I don't know if she intended to actually let them complete. I think canceling the situation was a little bit more important because of her income structure, but regardless, Kelazhur is going to be cleaning up some creep here. 3 Banshees can actually contest most of what's on the ground, even if it is Queens. I mean, a Banshee already 1v1's Queen in the first place. Take 3 of them. Boy, that thing's going to die quick. Ooh, finds a sweet spot, though, where the Spore Crawlers are not, and the hatchery is going to get focused down.
Ooh.
Banshees. Sometimes you're
This
like
is getting dangerous. I don't even think the Spore Crawlers are necessarily like forward enough to prevent the Banshees from picking away at that hatchery. I think there was a
Hellbats.
sweet spot.
Oh,
Too
shit.
many Banelings?
No.
No. She doesn't have any gas! Oh my
Oh, no.
god. Oh,
Zombie
she can
grub.
make one Baneling at a time.
The Banshees might go
Oh,
down,
boy.
but if these Hellbats get the drone kills here, I mean, she's on a pretty not phenomenal worker count in the first place.
She's not
How was she
expecting
even
this.
gonna kill these? Like, she doesn't have the
from
queens.
behind?
She doesn't have Zerglings. Like, Banelings have
She
to get
can't.
amazing hits.
She just straight up can't.
Hellbats-
Not right now.
Oh my god.
the drones. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, drones.
Oh no.
Both players are splitting. This is some serious payback for those Banlings on that 47 SCV count earlier. Dishes deals with this not too badly. Kills up almost the Hellbats, but there's the reinforcements, right? Like, that was just round 1 at a Kelazhur.
Whoa.
I think she's going for WoW. The WoW
Wow.
factor.
Wow.
Yeah, she is in a lot of trouble. This follow-up push, it won't have upgrades. He mistimed his armor a little bit here, but it will have stim.
What's killing the esports more, Scarlett? Reapers or Hellbats? Kelabats. Ooh! I like that.
Oh, I like that. That's awesome.
Alright, well, the
Spore
Spore
Crawlers,
Crawlers-
just one job.
Yeah, why would they even be out here? Put 3 of them by with the back.
He's making more Banshees, I guess.
That's a fair point. There's 12 Banlings on the way, but the hatchery is going to fall, and she can pick up and fly away. There are no Mutalisks to contest this, so these medevacs have full free reign as long as he doesn't mess up the control with them. Now, as the Banlings do start funneling in, it's still, like, to trade out for Scarlett is not going to be cost-effective for her.
No.
Oh, actually, the Banlings
Scarlett's
went
just-
across the map. Oh.
Yeah, she's just trying to go for the counter bust. She's trying to make a couple more Banelings so that she can move in and maybe catch Kelazhur while this drop is on the other side of the map, and he might not have enough. But Kelazhur has so much production. He didn't throw down a 3rd CC, or sorry, he doesn't have that 3rd CC landed because he doesn't need to yet.
What am I
It's
coming
not
into?
enough.
Nope, they don't actually get hits. And those Banling connections weren't bad, but point still stands. You're right, the Fear Dragon, the production from Kelazhur is going to be too strong. And his drop still has not been dealt with at all. Like, she's killed a couple of Marines here and there, but even with things like a Spire on the way, that's not gonna save her. And I think we are gonna get a Scarlett versus Bolt Grand Finals.
Oh snap.
Now, I wanna go back on something here, right?
Okay.
Very important to me here. Robbie and I tease each other quite a bit, or I rather tease him, but we do it in like the sort of guy friends sort of way, right? Zombie
Yeah.
is just straight up mean to Ravi. Like, I don't want to air any personal laundry, but it's like, Fear Dragon, tell me about this thing you don't want to tell me about. Also, I'm going to bug you about it for the next 30 minutes. Oh, hey, Fear Dragon, why don't I just bully you
Are
into
you
spending
kidding
thousands
me?
of dollars coming to Korea with me on
Are
a trip you
you-
didn't plan?
You will no.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, like, we're picking
No.
mean guys, and I get it. I'm the louder one of all of us, but I am definitely not the
No, no,
meanest
no,
of the
no,
three
no,
people
no,
here.
No way. This is all wrong. The second
Well,
one
I mean-
wasn't even being
I mean,
mean.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you have quite literally in this exact intonation and everything said to me like, yeah, tell me more. I want to know more about what you're talking about. I'm very interested in what you're talking. Like, you've never taken that kind of sarcastic intonation about something I'm excited about. That hurts.
I'm confused.
It's okay. It's hard to cope with being a bully if you
Also,
didn't realize
like,
you
I
were a
would be
bully.
the only one
so.
to do that. I think Rifkin. Okay, I've had to calm down Rifkin from biting at your neck sometimes.
That's not
Shall I bring
bullying
up
though.
something? Hold on. One word. Organizer.
Oh God.
In the rap.
That has nothing to do with Ravi though.
I guess
that's not being mean to
guess
Ravi.
I guess.
But okay, guys, we love Fear Dragon at the end of the day, and I think that's all that really matters. We are going to get Scarlett versus Polt, though, set up for the grand finals match. So it's the last series today. One last best of 5 to ride this group out on. We are going to go to a word from our sponsors. So while Zombie handles the vetoes between Scarlett and Polt, I would like to just one last time remind you guys about Ting before we get into this match. I actually have a blurb I'm supposed to be reading, and I haven't read from it all today, so I'm going to do that here. Jesse, while I scroll up and look for this, Jesse's been really awesome to work with, and he loves what we're doing. He's been very happy with results so far, obviously, and he's just a StarCraft fan. It's a little bit sad he couldn't be here today because I think this would have been like one of his favorite groups to watch. Because when we got to meet with Ting in the first place, we went to their offices, and it was me, Zombie Grub, and Scarlett, and he was so excited to meet Scarlett. Like, this guy, you guys have to understand, he is the biggest StarCraft fan, which is awesome. It makes it so much more fun to work with Ting. So I have no problem reading out these blurbs from them. So, for example, this one, we talked about the rates earlier. Ting's rates are pay for what you use, meaning if you use less, you pay less. While Ting isn't always the best option for super data-heavy users, you may be using a lot more cellular data than you actually need to. Many viewers might be thinking, oh, I've got an unlimited plan, so it doesn't make sense for me to swap. But you may not realize that there's a ton of other ways to lower your mobile data usage, save some money, all without changing your smartphone experience. And that's really what Ting's looking to do, guys. Again, they're not here like begging for your business. They will straight up tell you, stay on your other carrier if it's better for you. They want to help you save money. They want to invest in StarCraft 2, and they're not a shady business. These three things of lately are like very rare qualities to have all in one. So appreciate Ting. Check them out. bttv.ting.com. And what's cool is Jesse has been doing this retroactively. If you're already with Ting and you want to support BaseTradeTV, you can contact him, and he'll actually apply the $25 in credit retroactively to your account. If you sign up for Ting and forgot to use our link, again, contact Jesse. He will retroactively give you $25 in credit and make sure that he knows that you know, that we all know, that you're supporting StarCraft 2 in the process. Fractal Cactal resubbed while we're going off about all this, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are going to go to some words from our sponsors, and we'll see you guys in a few minutes with that grand finals match. Best of 5, Scarlett versus Polt.